Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Carter will refuse to quit Forrester Creations, so Hope will spin out over his treason. Carter will find himself facing a huge decision that'll surely affect his future. Steffi just shut down the deal Carter struck with Ridge and Eric to keep Hope for the future. That means Hope's being forced out of the company again, so she's waiting on Carter to walk out on the Forresters as well. When Hope senses some vacillation on Monday's show, she'll prompt Carter to flash back they're a platoon. Although Hope wouldn't want the Forresters to tear piecemeal her relationship, it looks like that's exactly what'll be. Hope will feel like Carter needs to have her back and quit in solidarity, but it wouldn't be so simple for him. Carter may assure Hope of his love, but he'll also feel like she's asking too much of him now that he's eventually made effects right with the Forresters. Still, he'll alienate Steffi, Eric and Ridge formerly more, if Carter lands on Team Hope in this case. Carter wants to repair the damage he's caused, not produce indeed further of it by siding with the woman the Forrester family views as the adversary. That's why Carter will have a tough time navigating all this, but he'll try to explain effects to Hope and make her see the situation his way. Unfortunately, Hope will lash out over Carter's rearmost treason and may have to fly hand in glove as she heads for the exit door. Latterly, Daphne will have a hush-hush meeting with Steffi and seek consolation that their secret will remain buried. Since Daphne has developed illicit passions for Carter, she wouldn't want him to know she came to Forrester Creations as part of Steffi's plot. Steffi may make a vaticination about Carter no way chancing out the verity since she'll be suitable to see how important he means to Daphne. Still, utmost secrets tend to blow up ultimately on B&B, so Daphne had more brace for bad news. Carter should get updates on Daphne's scheme with Steffi at some point, so don't miss all the counter-reaction. Hope loses her fashion line. Daphne and Zen talk about HFTF's future. Carter is forced to choose between Hope and the Forrester family. Over in the design office, Carter is happy Hope is there. She lays a guilt trip on the susurrus about all her hard work going to waste. Carter couldn't go on with the preemption, it was eating him alive. She debates, saying that he led the company in a better direction. Brooke says she can get why Carter feels haunted. Brooke looks Carter in the eyes and says it's not wrong to feel guilt. The COO insists that HFTF is safe, so he made a deal with the Forresters. The fashion developer reasons that Ridge and Eric might have agreed to that deal but Steffi didn't. Hope thinks they're all going to lose their jobs, Steffi will want vengeance. Carter and Brooke have faith in Ridge that he'll recognize his word. Ridge, Eric and Steffi all toast their coffee mugs in the office. They're so happy to have their company back. Steffi says they need to decide if Hope, Carter, and Brooke should continue at FC. The men remind the president that they made a deal with Carter to cover HFTF. Ridge and Eric remind Steffi that they gave Carter their word that Hope could stay. Steffi says nothing is in jotting and passions change. She insists that they need to be penalized, especially Hope. Carter, Brooke, and Hope enter the room. Carter says he should have seen the right path. Steffi makes a comment about how he should have come to that consummation a lot sooner. Steffi declares the triad committed disloyalty. Daphne and Zen cross paths in the design office. They talk about how different the energy is in the structure now. The nose says it's time to deal with the serpents. There's supposed to be a big meeting this morning, the developer mentions. Zen suspects Carter must be relieved. The content turns to Brooke. Zen says the only reason Brooke indeed took the job in the first place was to get Carter to do the right thing. The developer adds that Brooke is important to the company. He assumes Daphne must enjoy many pieces of Brooke's bedroom. The nose has at least a dozen. Brooke might be safe, but not Hope. Zend reminds Daphne that he's the lead developer for Hope's line. Daphne doesn't want anything bad to be to Zend. The developer knows she likes Carter. She thinks the susurrus deserves better than Hope. Steffi lectures the triad about their crimes against the Forrester family. Eric wants to move forward. Steffi does not want to move forward. She decides that Carter can have the susurrus position back. Hope asks about her line. She's told that the men made their pledges, but she did not. Hope brings up that there was an agreement. Steffi says that Brooke can stay, but Hope is a disgrace. The line is remitted. Carter chimes in but Steffi refuses to hear. Steffi rants about Hope being immoral and selfish. Hope brings up her accomplishments, but her rival isn't impressed. This is about honor and respect. Hope is called a vacant vessel who doesn't indeed sketch her own designs. She's no longer demanded. Hope says they'll lose Carter, too, because they're a platoon. The Forresters remind the Susurrus that they've forgiven him formerly, but it wouldn't be again. What will Carter decide? Daphne has eventually fully the charge she was brought to LA. To finish. Will Daphne pack up and go back to Paris, or will her passions for Carter keep her in L.A.? Daphne Rose's mission break up Hope Logan and Carter Walton. Daphne came to Forrester Creations to produce a scent for them, or at least that's what they allowed. Still, the real reason she was called to LA was to break up Hope and Carter. Now that Daphne has fulfilled her thing, will Daphne head back to Paris and her office there? Steffi wanted Daphne to appeal to Carter's sense of fidelity. Fidelity to the Forresters and not Hope. Steffi believed that Hope was using Carter to get what she wanted, and yet Carter did plenitude of this all on his own. Carter has been the one making the opinions ever since they took over the company. Hope has done nothing but offer her support. Carter felt like Ridge was allowing Steffi to use her position to run over workers and be discourteous to the Logans who have helped keep this company going through the times. Brooke was the bone who started to make Carter see the error of his ways. Carter felt bad before he took over this LLC. Carter wanted to expand the company without this whole LLC issue. Still, Eric and Ridge shot him down. Hope has been who they've criticized every day. Carter has assured Hope for the future's place in the company because Eric agrees. Carter may have chosen to side with Daphne about the scent. Still, Daphne is no longer demanded to come between Hope and Carter. Forrester is back in the hands of the Forresters where it belongs. Daphne's services are truly no longer demanded. Daphne does have it bad for Carter and may choose to stay before and see what happens between them. After Carter tells Hope that he has torn up the papers giving them control of Forrester, she's likely going to break up with him. Hope is going to be furious that she has to come back to answering to the Forresters after how they've treated her. What will Daphne do now that effects are back in Ridge's hands? Will Carter want to be with Daphne now rather? Ridge and Eric have to deal with a huge twist in the preemption plot. Plus, Steffi questions Carter's intentions. Eric and Ridge to be relieved that they eventually have control of their company. Ridge also has his stylish friend and family back. The director ripped up the preemption paperwork and it sounded genuine. It's always possible Carter is pulling another con. At the same time, we've seen Carter distraite over this indeed when no bone differently is in the room. So, chances are that he's being genuine. Steffi is overjoyed about Carter ripping up the LLC papers. She celebrated right along with her family. Still, she'll question Carter's intentions might not be pure. Steffi declaring that Hope shouldn't be involved in Forrester Creations. Still, that was the one condition Carter had. Keeping Hope's fashion line is what allowed Ridge and Eric to get their company back. Eric and Ridge will face some kind of twist. It's also stated that this moment shifts the course of the company. So, I wonder if Carter learns the Forresters can't recognize that one condition of the deal? Will Carter still agree if HFTF can't stay? Will Ridge and Eric go back on their word laterally? There are all feathers of ways this can go. As for what differently to anticipate, Carter faces a moral dilemma. Once Hope learns what happened, she'll flip out. He'll easily soften the blow by saying her line is defended. Still, over the course of the once many weeks, Hope seems to talk veritably little about her fashion line. Hope's focus seems to be on having the upper hand. There's also a possibility that Hope guilts Carter into going back on his deal. Hope will do anything to keep control and have power over Steffi. So, could she actually move him to change his mind again? Can he do that? What happens also?